Hello, music lovers. We are listening to the Errol Garner Quartet. This is an Italian release. Made in Italy. I don't know if you can read it there. You probably can't read it. Anyway. Yes. It's a live album. I didn't particularly pick this one out, but it just came in a group of tapes, a small group of tapes that I found at an estate sale. I've made a few attempts before at looking at estate sales. I hadn't had too much luck. Yes, hadn't had too much luck, and actually I found it kind of strange digging through the belongings of someone that has died. It's just a very strange thing. So, you know, it just feels weird digging through the belongings of someone who has died. But I decided to try it again the other day, and I had decent luck this time. I picked out a couple records and a case of tapes. This is one of the tapes that was in there, along with a Hitachi tape recorder. I was originally very excited about the Hitachi tape recorder. First of all, it was my understanding, and you know, I'm still new at this, but it was my understanding that Hitachi is like, you know, a high-end brand. Maybe I'm mistaken, because I later found out that Hitachi tape recorders aren't worth much. And this particular one that I got, it was nowhere near working. First of all, it had batteries inside that had exploded. When I tried to play a tape in it, I don't even think the tape would move, and the speaker would make this sort of a staticky, screeching noise, and I was like, you know what, it's just not gonna work. So I was pretty disappointed. However, in the box with that tape recorder, there was something very special. I think it's very special. I'll save that for last, though. So I mentioned I bought a couple records. So the first one is Kool and the Gang, Celebrate. These were from the estate sale. So now, by the time I got to the estate sale on the second day, so it was already, you know, pretty well picked over. But there was a very small stack of records, and I found two that interested me and were in good condition. This one, I'm so disappointed. To the naked eye, it looks like it's in great shape. It's the Isley Brothers, or the Isley Brothers, I don't know. Go All the Way. I was so excited to add this to my collection, and I put it on the other night, and right along the edge there's, I don't know if it's a flaw or a warp that the naked eye can't see or what, but it makes the needle move side to side like that, just right at the beginning on a particular place. You know, it stays in the groove, but it's moving side to side like that. And when it moves side to side like that, it makes a whump sound. It goes whump, whump, whump. So fortunately, it just does it through the first, you know, few seconds of the song on each side. But needless to say, I'm very disappointed because the album is really good. I really enjoyed it. A couple songs, you know, come pretty close to being disco, but I can forgive it because it's a good, funky album, and I'm happy to have it in my collection. So, all right. Then I picked up this, and when I took everything up to pay for it, I was expecting, you know, $15, $20, because the tape recorder alone was priced at $10. And so I asked how much, and she looked at the few items I had and said $10. So if nothing else, I mean, I got 2 records and this case with a bunch of tapes in it for $10. So let's go through these quickly. So it opens like this. There we go. How best to do this? It's a little awkward. First we have some classical music, Horowitz in Moscow. It's funny, I always pronounce the name of this band as Hiroshima, but I guess it's Hiroshima. So that one is Urban World Music. Then we have some smooth jazz or contemporary jazz. David Sanborn, Hideaway. I started to put this one on and it sounded a little warped, so it may not be good, but Stan Turrentine, Stan the Man Turrentine. Writer Carole King, or Carole King Writer. The music is fading. That's the thing about tapes, you know. Sometimes they'll do that. We have Grover Washington Jr. Inside Moves. Century City Blues, Flahive and DeJulio. I apologize, you probably can't see these too well, but anyway. Fred Ralston. This one looks, Fred's Rescue. This one looks like maybe some good jazz there. Not sure, never heard of him. John Basile with Eddie Gomez, Jerry Dodgian, and Akira Tana. Very Early. Steve Rollins, Step Right Up. Billie Holiday, Timeless Treasures. Yes. This tape I just kind of threw in there. There was a Kenny G tape and I took it out, and then I found this somewhere else, and so I just stuck it in there in Kenny G's place. Alvin, Love Me or Leave Me. And the interesting thing about this one, and pretty much the only reason I included it, is, I don't know if you can tell, but it has a clear red case. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. And the last one, Toto. Self-titled. pretty excited about that. And then this plastic case for storage. Now, so I was very disappointed about the tape recorder. First of all, the fact that it wasn't as valuable as I had thought, and then also that it wasn't in as good condition as I had thought. And it's strange because they had two of the identical tape recorders there, and I thought I picked out the better of the two, but apparently not. But I can't show it to you because I was so disgusted that I just threw it out. But I managed to salvage something from it. Inside the box was this. It was a tape that potentially had been mailed back and forth between Mr. and Mrs. Van E. Hawkins. He's actually, or he was, because I believe he was the one that had passed away, and it was his stuff that was being sold. But he was a major in the military. I'm not sure what, you know. It had some of his stuff there, but Major Van E. Hawkins. So I decided to pop this in the other night, and let's see here. So it says on there, it says gift opening, pendant and ring, and it looks like ear babs. I don't know. Well, it should be earrings, but anyway. So I popped this in, and I want to say it was a Christmas gift opening. It was basically the wife using presumably a similar tape recorder to record opening presents for Christmas, and yeah, it was very interesting. Just she's like describing everything, and because apparently, according to the addresses on here, he was stationed in San Francisco, and she was in Fort Worth, Texas. So I found it very interesting listening to it, and it's actually, I mean, it'd be difficult to do just because it's not often you find pre-recorded or recorded blank tapes like this with people actually talking on them, rather than, you know, usually it's people, you know, making a mixtape or something, that sort of thing. But I would love to start a collection of old recordings of people talking, basically. I was just enthralled by it. She was describing the pendant and the earrings and the ring, and there was some debate over which present was intended for which person, and then part of it on the, I believe on the second side, gets interesting because apparently on other tapes they've been discussing finances, and so she gets a little bit into talking about their finances. I found that pretty interesting. And then at the, I believe at the end of that side, or at least towards the end of the second side, the daughter comes on, little Vanessa Hawkins. Yes, Vanessa Hawkins. And yeah, it was just darling. She was, you know, thanking her dad for, I believe the pendant, I believe, ended up being for her. Yeah. So I tried to do a little research to find, you know, if they were still living at the address in Texas, and I just felt something really special when I was listening to this. It was like, I don't know. I can't explain it, but anyway, this made it worth it. Yeah, I absolutely loved it. Anyway, so there you go. That was my estate sale find. Mostly tapes, but then also a couple good records. I've yet to play that Kool and the Gang one, but that Isley Brothers one, or Isley Brothers one, fantastic. Anyway, the tape's over, or at least that side is over. So with that, I'll end it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.